Help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. My name is Ethan, and I never imagined a quiet night at home could feel so unbearably heavy. I've always believed intimacy isn't just about touch. It's about connection, trust, and being truly seen by the person you love. For years, Claire was that safe place for me. We laughed together, shared dreams, and she had this magical way of making the ordinary feel extraordinary. But lately, something had changed. It started small. Side hugs instead of real embraces. Quick, obligatory kisses. Evenings spent sinking into the couch while avoiding even the most basic closeness. I kept telling myself it was stress or exhaustion, that it was just a phase. I tried to stay gentle, patient, hopeful. But weeks stretched into months, and the distance between us turned into a constant ache in my chest. That evening felt no different at first. I approached her with a small, hopeful gesture, a hand on her shoulder, a quiet invitation to reconnect. "Ethan, I'm tired," she murmured, turning away. Her tone wasn't angry, but there was a heaviness behind her words that stung more than any argument. I didn't push. I'd learned by now that trying to force closeness only deepened the silence between us. What I didn't know was that this night was about to take a turn I never expected. Claire's friend Natalie was visiting, someone I barely knew but impossible not to notice. Loud, confident, observant. She had this way of filling a room with her energy. And the moment she sensed the tension between us, her eyes sharpened with a curiosity that made me uneasy, like she could see right through the thin calm I was pretending to hold together. The contrast between them was striking. Claire was withdrawn, shrinking into herself, while Natalie moved like she owned the space. And somehow, that difference felt like the beginning of something. As the evening dragged on, the air grew thicker with unspoken words. Claire sat curled on the couch, scrolling through her phone, shoulders tense. I pretended to relax, sipping my drink even as my insides twisted. Then Natalie leaned against the doorway, arms crossed, a mischievous spark in her eyes. "So, what's going on between you two?" she asked almost casually, but every word hit sharp and deliberate. I hesitated. I didn't want an audience for our private struggles. "She's just tired," I said, trying to smooth over the tension. But Natalie wasn't having it. She tilted her head, studying us like she was reading between every breath we took. "Ethan, come on," she said. "This isn't just about being tired." Claire stiffened, cheeks flushing. She opened her mouth, then closed it again, words trapped behind her defenses. Natalie stepped forward, lowering her voice just enough that we both instinctively leaned in. "Claire," she said firmly, "you can't keep shutting him out. It's not fair to either of you." The shock that hit me was instant. For months, I'd been carrying the silence alone, and now her friend was calling her out right in front of me. Not cruelly. Not with judgment. Just with blunt honesty that sliced straight through the tension. Claire froze, guilt and frustration warring on her face. For the first time in forever, I watched the wall she'd built around herself begin to crack. A thick, charged silence settled over the room. Then Natalie's expression softened. She placed a gentle hand on Claire's shoulder. "This isn't about blame," she said quietly. "You both deserve connection, real connection." Something inside me loosened. Gratitude. A flicker of hope I hadn't felt in months. Claire finally met my eyes, and for the first time in a long while, I saw vulnerability instead of distance. "Ethan, I didn't realize how much I was hurting you," she whispered. Her voice trembled. "I didn't mean to push you away. I just didn't know how to say what I was feeling." I reached for her hand, and the cold space between us warmed as our fingers intertwined. "I just want us back," I told her softly. "I want us to feel like partners again, not strangers in the same house." Tears welled in her eyes and she nodded. Natalie smiled, a small, satisfied smile, and quietly slipped out, giving us the space we desperately needed. Alone at last we talked. Really talked. We listened. We let walls crumble and let truths spill out. It wasn't perfect, healing never is, but for the first time in months I felt seen, heard, chosen. And that meant everything.